Hey guys, Vaughn here, doing the Doomsday Project review. I'm going to be actually doing multiple reviews when the cards come out in 6, 7 cards at a time. I'm not going to just be hitting every card every day or whatever. And I'm going to do a one super long live stream like I normally do the day before the event goes live. So, starting up, we got 1 mana biology project. It's a common. Each player gains 2 mana crystals. This is powerful. This is super powerful. Druid on turn 1 now gets 3 mana, but you also get 3 mana. It's really Ramp Druid at its finest. But it's also how dangerous it can be. I'm trying to think if there's like anything insane right now except the overgrowth cards, kinda, where if you have X amount of mana crystals, voila. This also lets you do Nourish, possibly on turn 2. Biology Project, Coin Biology Project, turn 5, well, 5 mana the next turn. Actually 6. Because 1 plus 1 plus 4, yeah, 6. You'd literally be able to Nourish on turn 2. But your opponent now also has a lot of mana. So, it's interesting to say the least. The next card, I'm doing these in mana and rarity based, is the Spider Bomb. 3 mana, 2/2. Magnetic, which means if you place it to the left, it attaches its stats and effect to the minion, but if you place it to the right, it doesn't, or I might have that inverted. I don't know how well Magnetic's going to be. Death Rattle, destroy a random enemy minion. I saw this and heard it, I'm like, this is mech zombies. This is what mechs do. For those who may or may not know, I'm designing a card game. I mentioned that forever ago and mention it every so often, because it is something I do spend a lot of time on, so some content does get forgotten for it. And I've been working on like a scrap mechanic and all of that, which has been really interesting. And looking at this, it's like, huh, this is close to one of the mechanics I was working on. Yay, Hearthstone. But from what I know of this mechanic, it's great, but its main weakness is single target removal or mass big removal. And that's most issues. Single target removal, because this is literally adding its stats and effect to another minion. This is 3 mana, give a minion 2/2, and Death Rattle, destroy a random enemy minion. Or it becomes a mech. That's a 3 mana 2/2 with that effect. So it's real interesting on that. I definitely think it will possibly have played the magnetic system, but I do have a fair bit of doubt on how aggressive and how powerful it may or may not be. Inspire. Next up is we're skipping forward in mana because the other 3 cards are legendaries. We have the Omega Defender, which isn't exactly like the overgrowth system, and I might be saying it wrong, but in Shadowverse, for those who want that comment, there's a mechanic that is like, this is a 2 mana 2/2. Overgrowth, 3 mana, or 3 play points, and it gains 3/3. So 4 mana, 2/6 taunt. Oh wow, that's bog standard. Battlecry, if you have 10 mana crystals, gain 10 attack. And this is where I'm saying biology project might break. Because you can get this out so much quicker with a 12/6 for 4 mana. This is actually superior to the Overgrowth system, because in that system you did have to pay 5 mana for the 5/5, not a 2 mana for a 5/5. So this isn't 4 mana Overgrowth 6 gain 10 attack. No, this is just 4 mana if you have X amount. This is more of the overflow mechanic from Shadowverse, which, very powerful. It's very fucking powerful in Shadowverse. So next up, this is a card I feel good. It might not be chosen that much because there's so much more value-orientated cards. This is just big body card. Next up is the Electrostorm Surge. 3 mana, 3/3. It's a elemental. Hey, this reminds me of Murmuring Elemental, except this is actually a legendary. Battlecry, your next spell costs twice. Battlecry twice, spell twice. This, very powerful. And I did not check to see if it was completely how I'm thinking it may or may not be. And that might be a danger. I don't know if the second one is a Yogg-Saron third-party spell or not. Okay, apparently they have, like, same target or whatever. Okay, yeah. It's double Battlecry where it keeps the same target for the second spell. Yes, it does keep the same target. So this is basically kind of a recast for Shaman. Trying to think of any interesting Shaman cards that you really want recast. That doesn't really overload you that much. This is going to massively overload you, I feel. But they're really making Shaman spells powerful. Between Hagatha, the Cauldron, and now this guy. Elemental Hagatha is the way of the Shaman, I'm feeling. Yeah. Someone actually mentioned, oh god. Someone mentioned it would be great with Lightning Storm, but you'd be so affected by, the overload. Yeah. Lava Burst becomes 10 damage to face, but you get 6 overload. Murmuring does not stack because this is a twice, not +1. Twice means 2, so 2, 2, 2. So yeah, this one I've definitely, think is real interesting and really pushing that Hagatha vibe. Next up is Stargazer Luna. I'm having to do this all live. It's a 3 mana 2/4. Wow, it's actually understated, a 3 mana 3/4. After you play the rightmost card in your hand, draw a card. Okay, so basically if you draw, this is a top deck card. This is a powerhouse top deck card. I was actually having to slow down and actually remember which one's my right and which one's my left. Yes, rightmost means you just drew that card, which obviously is kind of interesting. Ooh. Oh yeah, echoes. Okay, I'm also reading some stuff on the cards. Someone saying this is a terrible card, completely the opposite, wouldn't even play it because it's not 3/4. Echo cards. Yeah, echo cards go right back. Oh yeah, glyph and anything generated. Oh. The lack of creativity. Man, we're getting creative with the... Wow. Wow, this is really not good on the Hearthstone community. I'm just looking at the posts, and so far everyone's bashing how interesting. Top deck and draw more. So literally, this is a top deck burn style. I'm feeling an Alaneth vibe without needing Alaneth. Alaneth draws cards at the end. This one just says, draw X cards equal to the number of cards you played instead of using Alaneth. Yeah. I'm definitely not liking this card just because it promotes so much top deckage versus a well thought out plan. But it definitely has its power. I definitely would say maybe it needs to be a 3-4, but Hearthstone buffing a card? Yeah, right. They learned that with Unleash the Hounds. And a card that, dear God, I remember this in the custom Hearthstone community forever ago. This used to be like a hunter card, a custom hunter card called Do or Die, 2 mana epic. That's a draw the rest of your deck. Now it's a rogue one. I'm like, this feels like it almost nullifies the Gadget Sand coins in Miracle Rogue. It also promotes a lot of that spider play, which isn't bad because that's replacing the 4/4s. Trying to think. Yeah, I just like, is this really gonna replace the Miracle style, just this one legendary? Because Gadget Sand was a 2-of most of the time. There's a lot of 1-ofs from what I remember. One Gadget Sand in a Miracle deck, because you don't need a second one. And well, 6 mana have to pay more into it versus 5 mana get everything. And that's something else. This versus Gadget Sand and Miracle. And out of Miracle, like I said, the Spider deck would be great. It would be broken in the Quest Rogue with 1 mana 4/4s. Okay, so it's the same thing as a Spider. And I'm trying to think right now. Would the spiders actually count into a fatigue? Or not? No, because the spiders would actually be in the minor effect. So they would actually draw the next card, then this would continue until the rest of the deck. The only way this would happen is if the spider was the last card in the deck. And then it would fatigue you by 1, most likely. So this is a perfect way to remove. This is feeling like also the Cold Light Oracle for Mill Rogue. They removed Mill Rogue, but given the Miracle a lot more power. And I like that. Cold Light, yeah, it was annoying and all. Ice Block, I still don't see why it needed to go. And this guy, yeah, he's actually fairly well balanced, and from what I can feel, you can only fit 10 cards in your hand, so this would literally have to be the only card in your hand, and then you'd get 1/3 of your deck. But then you only have 5 mana this turn. Even with prep, it would be 2 mana. Okay, 2 mana, draw 10. That would be the maximum you could push this for without burning cards. And I am saying without burning cards for a reason. Because if you don't know what's in, you don't know what order your deck is in, you can burn your Leroy, which Miracle used to do all the time as well. And this one I just find so fascinating because I've even toyed with this card design so touchingly, so much tempting. Wait a minute, I'm looking at the background art now. I don't know if you guys can actually see. But below the claw arm, there's a Rager. It looks like we're gonna get another Magma Rager ripoff. As well as it looks like we're gonna get some cool lightning bots, also some more boom bots, and maybe even Dr. Boom's mech and him as like a legendary. Hopefully not a Sneedled Shredder effect. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna say this has been it. I'll definitely be doing more of these reviews, and I definitely love to hear you guys' comments down below. So thanks you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.